Hi everyone, it's Matilda and Veronica here at We're for Pilates' Sake. Today we're going to be taking a look at prone arm press. So we're going to show you the full out version first, and then we're going to do a little modification that I think is quite accessible to many people. So the spring is typically a 2-2. Now if you have a smaller person, that's definitely going to be too much for them. It's going to probably throw them off. They're not going to be able to manage it or maintain a plank. So a 2-1, a 1-1, and honestly, hey, like even down to a 4, I've had to put people to a 4. So whatever works, again, don't want to be bullied. The spring is there to help support you. So you're getting on the chair with your shoulders over your wrists, all right? You don't want your shoulders to go beyond your wrist, because by the time the paddle moves back, you're going to be hyper-extending at the wrist way too much. Okay, so what you're looking for is a nice, basically a plank. So your head is in line with your rib cage, which is in line with your pelvis. So I'm going to just ask Veronica to bring her ribs down there a little bit lower, and ask her to feel like, you know, from her head all the way through to her sacrum to her heels, she's got like her central axis, and she's kind of feeling that she can spin around that in a sense. Here, you're going to take a big inhale to maintain this place, to find your length, and then she's going to exhale to allow the paddle to rise up through the rotation of her arm in the shoulder joint and the flexion at the elbow. She's going to inhale, the paddle goes down, exhale to rise up. As the paddle lowers and the springs increase their tension, you actually want to feel like you're inviting the spring tension up through the palm into the shoulder joint. You're not just pushing the spring away. It's being invited back into you, and then exhaling. Now, the hardest part, I believe, on the exhale is maintaining organization through the shoulder joint. Now, that's typically a problem because instead of rotating at the shoulder joint, people are just bending at the elbow and they're squeezing their shoulder blades together. So this is quite a skill to learn.
I want to say something.
Yeah,
on this.
absolutely.
You guys can't see the angle of my elbows, but I was taught to keep my elbows really close to my ribs. Watch what happens to my shoulder girdle here. There is a biomechanical rhythm in the elbow joint, and when I screw that up, I guess you could say, it's going to start. You can see where Matilda's fingers are. I'm now starting to like destable.
And this just gets, destable.
So think of the elbows as slightly a Pilates V. They slightly go outwards as they bend, and you can see, do I look better?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then inhale, they can somewhat, as you straighten, come back in. And they allow that little bit of Pilates V, and that way you can keep the biomechanics correct in the elbow joint to stabilize the shoulder girdle.
That's awesome. The other thing I practice sometimes on my own as well is changing the angle of the elbow, not closer to the torso, but a little bit further and further away, right? So each time you come up, you just allow the rotation of the humeral head to kind of bring the elbow out a little bit further, and you just kind of target different muscles that way. It's kind of neat, and it allows for a different range of motion in the shoulder joint, it allows for a different strength. And then I kind of fan the elbows out as far as they can. And a little bit, it reminds me of the pole, you know, when we do roll down and we do elbow bends. You can bring your elbows all the way out kind of to the side and then slowly start to bring your elbows towards your shoulders again.
I can feel that right in my socket.
It's nice. Hey?
Elbows never pulled in.
Yeah.
That's an old school thing. We're going to break this down.
Yeah, we are.
You've got a real cool modification that you were showing me.
A nice way to modify this for everybody, really, even for myself, is you slide yourself off to the back of the chair. So you want your hip joint at the back edge of the chair, and you can just let your knees bend and your feet kind of just be down on the floor. Now, your whole torso is resting on the chair. So your ribs are on the chair, and you can allow your shoulder girdle. Yeah, you want to try and get your head in line with your ribs, in line with your pelvis. So you're actually quite low, and the arms are going to go to straight. Now, there we go. Now from here, you're just going to take a big breath in. And then as Veronica exhales, she's going to resist the closing of the paddle and allow the rotation of the arm in the shoulder joint to allow the paddle to come back. It's really mindful. You gotta really experience and be internal with this, or else the paddle, it's not about bringing the paddle up and down through the flexion and extension of the elbow joint, right? As the paddle goes down, the spring gets invited back in, and you really start to create a nice, strong shoulder cuff muscle.
There you go, nice burn
Right?
back there too.
And then from here, which is a really mild way of starting to do extension, you can straighten the arms all the way up, and then you just allow your spine to just gently rise up, and then allow the weight of your ribs to actually rest on the paddle. And then you lower it back down again. So you can inhale, use your breath, let the arms help pick you up, let the ribs feel heavy on the paddle. Now when the paddle goes back down again, it's because it's your spine that's lowering back down into neutral and not your arms pushing down. So she's going to inhale, the springs are going to push her arms up, they're going to connect into her shoulder girdle, which is going to connect into her rib cage, which is going to create extension. And then as she exhales, it's the ribs and the spine, same, that bring the paddle all the way back down again. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. And it's really, really accessible for many, many people. That way, they're not afraid that they're going to fall off the front of the chair or get,
Yeah, it
slung
can be
back.
scary for people.
Yeah, it
I do
can.
have clients that are scared
Yeah,
of this, so
yeah.
that's fantastic.
So yeah, I love it, and it's feels really great. So thanks for joining us. If you liked what you saw today, please do subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up, like, and thank you for joining us.
See you next time.